When I was 20 years old, I was out one night celebrating a friend's birthday, not knowing that that night my life would change forever. When I was leaving the venue with my brother and some friends, we were waiting for our ride to come home, and that's the last thing I remember before I completely blacked out. The next morning, I remember waking up in ICU and I was being prepped for emergency surgery. It wasn't until a week later that I really truly grasped what had happened to me. It turns out I was standing in the wrong place at the wrong time, and a beer bottle was thrown into my direction, hitting me in the face. As a result, I had a broken bone, cuts all over my face, and a very deep and wide cut across my eye that required 20 stitches to seal. My life after that was never really the same. I was in and out of hospitals. Despite what doctors tried, nothing was working and my eyesight just wasn't coming back. I couldn't really study, I couldn't work, and I was living in chronic pain. Eventually, I met an ophthalmologist who told me that I would have to have my eye completely removed to save my good remaining eye. And so a couple of months later, I had an evisceration surgery where the entire contents of my eye were removed. And it took 3 months to recover from that surgery in complete isolation. I came to terms with the realization that I would be living the rest of my life with one eye. With my athletic background and competitive nature, I felt prepared to adjust to this new reality and living with an artificial eye. What I didn't anticipate and didn't expect were the reactions I received. I was made fun of. And as a South Asian woman, I experienced a lot of stigma. I was told not to talk about my accident and not tell people that I had a visual disability. People in my community and my family believed that no one would marry me. And I also remember my grandmother, who had seen me after one of my surgeries, grabbing my face and crying and saying, "You used to be so pretty." I don't think my family had the tools to process what happened. They internalized it. So there was a lot of shame around my accident and the fact that I couldn't see out of my eye. I don't know why I was treated as if I did something wrong, but I was. And so to get over it, I just focused on improving myself. I guess in some way I believed that if I became more successful, that everything would be okay. On the outside, it seemed like I had it all. My friends would even tell me that they envied my lifestyle. And every time I heard that, I felt so uncomfortable because I knew that this was all perception. This paradoxical life I was living eventually started taking a toll. My anxiety was growing, I started experiencing panic attacks, and it eventually led to a breakdown. After that time, I started seeing a therapist, and it was with this therapist that we started to unpack all of the past trauma and how I really felt about everything. It was in this journey that I realized that society has a false belief that if you have some kind of physical disability or physical difference, that you have a major setback for the rest of your life. This is an awful stigma, and it's not true. Those that have experienced some kind of obstacle in their life may have had more barriers to overcome, but that doesn't mean that their life is any less worthwhile. In fact, us human beings were incredible creatures, and through these experiences, we can build new skills. like resiliency and strength. And that's exactly what happened to me. I had to go through these difficult times to become who I am now. And now I have the confidence that I didn't have before. Owning my story has, in fact, led to launching my own platform. And now I get to raise awareness about visible and non-visible disabilities, specifically how it impacts people from communities where these kind of circumstances are highly stigmatized. I used to hide my blind and painful eye behind my hair. I also tried to conceal the fact that I wore a prosthetic eye, not realizing that this was compounding more and more shame and perpetuating sadness and resentment. The truth is, I wear a prosthetic eye to make everyone around me comfortable. I actually don't like wearing my prosthetic eye because it hurts sometimes and my head movements are restricted. One day I want to normalize being able to walk out of the house, not wearing a prosthetic eye, and not having people say things to me. I hope that by sharing my story, I can inspire other people to share their own authentic stories and move away from this perfectionist mindset. When I look back at my life, I've gone through a lot of challenges. However, I'm thankful for each and every one of them because all those experiences have made me who I am today. I don't have any regrets, and I'm prepared for whatever comes my way.